Hello, and welcome to Trust Your Sacred Feminine Flow. I'm your host, Joni Advent Maher, mystic, spiritual midwife, and visionary leadership guide. It's my great pleasure to share inspiring and intimate conversations and emerging wisdom gathered from our collective feminine journey of awakening. My guests are revolutionary women at the cutting edge of both personal and global transformation. I invite you to join us in claiming our sovereignty, changing the world, and flourishing no matter what. Welcome to Trust Your Sacred Feminine Flow. I'm your host, Joni Advent Maher, spiritual midwife, mystic, and transformational guide. Today, I want to talk to you about faith. I want us to deconstruct what you have faith in and what you put your faith in. This feels like an important topic to me because ultimately, if we're able to move beyond blind faith or unearned faith, if we can be intentional and clear about where we place our faith, we can open to a vast and powerful resource, a potency that can carry us through not only challenges and adversities in life, but make our day-to-day, moment-to-moment experience more grace-filled and more pleasurable. So our time together today is going to be an extended inquiry into faith and your faith. So I want you to first consider, who are the people that you put your faith in? What are the qualities that enable you to put that faith in them and their presence in your lives? And when you think about those people, if you bring someone to mind in this moment, I want you to notice how it feels in your body, just to think about them. Notice any shifts that might occur. Also, do you have faith in yourself? Do you have faith in your abilities? Do you have faith in your capacities? Do you have faith in your vision? Do you have faith in your heart and soul's longings? And how do you see that faith, or if it's lacking, how do you see the doubt showing up in your life and your experience? Do you feel free to pursue your heart and soul's desires? Do you feel freed up and capable of creating your visions in the world? Is that something that you take action on regularly, or do you feel stalled out? Consequently, if you consider the big question of faith, the ultimate question of faith, what is it you believe? What do you have faith in, and what do you call it? Perhaps it's one of the many names for God or the goddess. Perhaps it's the universe or life or the great mystery. As you consider that, I want you to just pause for a moment. Take a breath and imagine that you can feel the immediacy of whatever that is, whether it's present within you through each breath, or whether it's enveloping you or holding you. Just for a moment, bring your awareness to that immediacy of that larger essential that you put your faith in. And again, I want you to notice how it feels in your body to be connected to that, to be related to that, to be imbued with that. And now let's go back to that earlier question about whether you feel freed up to create your visions or to pursue your heart and your soul's desires. I want you to look at these two aspects of faith, faith in self and faith in something larger. And I want you to imagine that your human consciousness is resting somewhere in the middle of that. And just notice how you relate to each of those and how it affects your ability to move forward in your life or to create with those supports, with the support of having full faith in yourself, or the support in knowing there's something larger holding you, guiding you, supporting you. So we live in a world that is chock full of distractions. We live in a world with other people's beliefs, other people's opinions, other people's energies, and kind of the unfolding of all of us being in this mix together. And all of those components can interfere with a clear connection and conduit to our faith, both in ourselves and in something greater. So when I think about this, I go back to the story which I learned as a little girl from the Bible, and more recently heard the poet David White speaking to. And it is the story of Peter, the apostle, in the boat on the lake with Christ, or on the sea. I guess it was the Sea of Galilee. I don't know. I'm not sure about those details. But my point is, it's the idea of Jesus, or the Christ, walking on the water and calling Peter to get out of the boat and meet him and join him. And Peter has lots of struggle around that, and then does ultimately get out of the boat and begins walking across the water until he gets pulled out of his faith. He gets distracted and pulled into the fear and then begins to sink. And I believe there is some exchange that is something to the extent of stay focused on me, that Jesus or Christ relays to him, and then he is then able to walk on the water again. And the reason this story comes to me is because there have been many times in my own journey where I have had to fix my attention on my point of faith out in front of me. And whether it was faith in my vision, faith in my calling, faith in what I was meant to create, or a truth that I knew needed to be said, and I knew that there was a resource or a support that could guide me, that I have had to make single pointed focused, keep my attention right on that, which can draw me step by step to my next destination. So just like walking on a tight wire rope and having someone on the other side and being able to just lock eyes and stay focused there and not get pulled into any of the externals. Because I'm here to tell you, if there is anything in your life that you're longing to create, if you have a vision, if you have something that's new, that isn't seen, that isn't out there, it can be very easy to get distracted and pulled off course. So I'm bringing this up today because personally I believe that we are here to be powerful creators and co-creators in our life. I do believe in the divine and in a benign and supportive universe that is holding us and working on our behalf. I do believe that if we have desires, heart and soul desires, that we have both the capacity to create those and bring them into our life, and that in the act of doing so, that we become more and more of our true and essential selves. So when we have a balance in faith in ourselves and faith in something larger or greater than us, we have the greatest ease in that creative process. Often we have an imbalance where we may have greater faith in ourselves, where we believe it's all up to us, which often can manifest as an imbalance or overactive masculine principle. And then there are those of us who have an imbalance in the other direction. We perceive the power or the ability or that which is worthy of faith to be outside of us. So it may be something greater than us, or it may be in other people. This would indicate overdevelopment of the feminine nature. With that comes more difficulty with seeing how we can be the active agents in our life to create things on our own behalf. So if you find that's your situation, I recommend taking steps and taking action to stretch yourself or to risk or to step out of your comfort zone in terms of cultivating new skills or capacities. I know one area this can show up, for example, is certainly with money and our relationship with money and our belief in our capacity to earn or generate or manage money. But it can show up in any area of life. So cultivating skills and learning or doing things to take action or to strengthen our abilities naturally will increase our faith in ourselves and a healthy, more balanced masculine principle. However, if you find yourself needing to cultivate more of your feminine nature and greater faith in something larger than yourself, I have a couple of thoughts and suggestions. First and foremost, when we think about faith, it is really a matter of perception and perceiving what is present, what is possible. There's a 19th century poet named Ralph Hodgson, and he wisely said that some things have to be believed before they can be seen. And I believe that that is absolutely true. So when we need to cultivate greater faith in something outside of ourselves, it's really about a practice of looking for the good, for the support, for the miracles. It's about training the brain and the mind to look differently. There's a prayer that I often use, which is, may I recognize, receive, and appreciate all the support and gifts coming my way today. It's simple but powerful. So again, the point of all of this is becoming more adept, more free, more empowered, more passionate creators of your life and in your life. This is a cornerstone of your feminine sovereignty. It is a cornerstone of growing into the woman that you were born to be, that you came to this life to embody and to live and to share. And it is through listening to the longings and the desires of your heart and your soul. That is the carrot. That is what is leading you to who you're meant to be in your most full and expressed and authentic self. So, my beloved, I have faith in you. I have faith in the guidance system of your soul that is drawing you forward, that is calling you to that expression of your sacred self. And it is my prayer and my desire for you that you can rest in that faith, both in yourself and in the larger matrix of divine grace that is holding you and always present and available to work on your behalf. Those resources are always available to you. And just like our physical bodies need food and rest and water, our spiritual bodies need faith. As we bring this to a close, I want to invite you to my next New Moon Circle. This is the place where I share those practices that ground me in that deep resource of faith. It's a virtual gathering via Zoom technology where we gather together to come back to ourselves, remember our true nature, and again, root deeply into the ultimate source of our well-being. You can find out when the next circle is happening at newmooncircle.com. And until next time, beloved, always trust what your heart knows. Thanks for listening to Trust Your Sacred Feminine Flow. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with a friend and be sure to subscribe, rate, and review wherever you get your podcasts. And visit theradianceequation.com to receive your copy of The Radiance Equation, a visionary's guide to coming out of hiding, owning your wisdom, and creating your greatest impact.